right, and now I'm joined by Jonathan, creative director of Watch Dogs. You seem to be having a pretty excellent show. Watch Dogs all over the place, all over the press conferences. But what you guys are showing here in the theater, a little more focused on the open world elements of Watch Dogs. What was the decision on focusing on that in the theater here in the Ubisoft booth?
I think we have two objectives at this year's E3. The first one was to make sure that people understand that we can express ourselves in a very different way. That was the Sony stage demo was, right, showing a very different way of expressing ourselves. Then I think when you show a game like ours, you really need to take the time to explain how it works, how the systems work. And I know a lot of people, when we present systemic game and we say you can express yourself any way you want, they want to see the proof of that. I think it was important for any journalist and people that comes in to really start getting how it works, right? How we built it, how you wander around in the city, how it's a real open world. And I think that's what the game is all about, and we need to explain it that way.
So kind of one of the big twists in the theater demo is you reveal that another hacker that's trying to hack into Aiden, into the player character, turns out is another player, which has invaded your world and is trying to hack you, and then that player goes on and invades the other player's world. So here's my question. Are you always playing as Aiden? Because the other character did not appear to be the same character, but I would have assumed that he would be that. How does that part of the multiplayer, or that part of that multiplayer interaction work?
It's a simple mathematic problems, right? You want to create an environment where people can invade each other, but at the same time, there's only one Aiden Pierce. There's also, if you just use it with multiplayer characters, that's also a problem, because by definition, if more people play single than multiplayer at the beginning, it doesn't work neither. So we came up with a simple idea, we use any single player and multiplayer guys to feed your world. So I invade you, I am Aiden Pierce invading a target. You are being invaded by someone you don't know. It doesn't matter that we're both Aiden Pierce. We're just messing around with the perception there. That way we can stop always building content that comes from crafted elements, and we can start saying, hey, there's millions of people out there playing the game. Let's have them start to feed emergent elements of our game as well.
So there's always only one Aiden Pierce, and you are always Aiden Pierce. But if you go to someone else's world, they do not see you as Aiden Pierce.
That's exactly it.
So how do you feel about, we've got Tom Clancy's The Division stationed right next to you here in the Ubisoft booth. That made a big premiere at the Ubisoft press conference this year. And, I think that a lot of people drew some thematic sort of connections between Watch Dogs and The Division. Is that anything that you've talked to the producers of The Division about? Is that anything that you were cognizant of going into this?
Actually, I discovered it at the same time as you guys. Last year, a lot of people asked, how did Watch Dogs pull off a secret like that? The answer is, we hide it from everyone. So which means that Ubisoft learned that and ended up doing the same. So I discovered The Division at the same time as you, I guess a little bit before when I saw the rehearsal.
I was a little surprised in the theater demo here. I think this is the first time that we've seen really a lot of gunplay, pulling out full AK-47s, actual lethal gunplay. In the stage demo earlier, was going for kneecaps, stuff like that. How representative is this theater demo with the gunplay in there of just the overall Watch Dogs experience?
I think it's pretty much representative of who you are as a player. That's really something that we want to come to do with the game. We carefully chose the role of Aiden Pierce as a vigilante because it's a very broad spectrum as a word. It means taking justice into your own hand. But you can be a pretty bad vigilante, a pretty ruthless one, or you can be someone who really care about justice and also human beings and innocent people. So I think the gun becomes an interesting conflict tool. You can use it to hurt people. You can hurt people that, quote-unquote, kind of deserve it, but you can also hurt people that don't deserve it. The same goes with pressing a button and causing an accident. So anything that's in the game of Watch Dogs needs to be used with care. And when you cannot deal with a situation with a gun, maybe you can do with something else. And if you go too far and people are hurt, then you can try and undo that by saving people on the fly and those kinds of things. So we really wanted to bring everything at the same level. What the challenge is design-wise is when you give a gun to a player, it's a natural. You go, I want to hack everything and be new. And then he takes a gun, I'm going to kill you, motherfucker. And then you're like, okay, that's you. That's a human thing, right? That works. My brain tells me it works. Let's go with that. So the challenge is to teach new ways of expressing themselves so that they can consider it, but never to start pushing it in their throat, right? And saying to them, you should be hacking all the time and don't use that gun. It should just be us making a good job at showing how you can use it all the time in combo or more unique, in the demo with the stage, but never shoehorning it in the way players wants to play. It should be them who decides.
So is it a viable option to just stay away from guns entirely, or is it something that you're going to find yourself needing at some point?
I think it's a viable option most of the time. I'm not going to lie to you. I think I don't know exactly.
Sure.
You know, if I could say you can finish the game without drawing a bullet, I don't think that's possible.
Okay.
But it's not exactly how we did it. It's more shades of gray. We're not going to score yourself. We're not going to say, oh my God, you use a gun, -10.
Give us a quick rundown. When you guys coming out? What are you coming out on?
Yeah. Watch Dogs coming out on November 19th for the current gen in US. November 22 on the Europe side, and holiday season for all next gen stuff.
Excellent, Jonathan. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much to you. I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker.